Uh, Hello there. This is this is part two because I ran out of memory on the first part of January 6th, 2023, with an emergency hearing with the United States Supreme Court with the Trump card, the trumpet card, the Trump call, the trumpet call, the call of the trumpet, otherwise known as the Herald of the Lake of Fire. If you tie all of Yellow Rose for Texas videos in, you synchronize all that data. You can synchronize a lot of data off of Project Ascension with my clan mother, Karen Ann Luke McDonald, with Patty Broussard, and others that have been on there, including Dan Boland with the United States Air Force, right? And a video that he did once on the Goldfish Report, which as I remember it was number 555. It talked about artificial intelligence, animus fragments. All this fits together, synchronizing alphanumeric numbers and how they all sort of come together with an enormous amount of precision, right? And so 1992 was January 6th. It was my birthday to rehabilitate my spirit. Okay, so that's not a coincidence that here I'm led to watch Kerry Cassidy's video with Nino Rodriguez explaining how the United States Supreme Court was helping to shepherd this case on an emergency basis. And so it's not a coincidence. They don't choose dates randomly because numbers are energy and they're synchronized. Okay? You better believe they are. They're synchronized with a calculator, particularly with the planet's magnetosphere, connected Andromeda Galaxy, right? Andromeda Council of 12, Council of 5, Intergalactic Council, right? There are no coincidences, not with the numbers. The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie because the numbers are energy. Consciousness is energy. Okay. And so I left off basically where I was talking about, if you will, Nazi fear-based, trauma-based mind control. They're experts at it. All you got to do is go back and listen to Hermann Goering, who was one of Adolf Hitler's inner circle, right? Certainly not a circle of light. And how he talked about when he was asked how they were able to gain control over the German people and basically get their way. And he said, basically, be a thug. Scare the crap out of them. They'll get on their knees and obey. So now you're into the trauma they do to children. Trauma to children leads to adult self-abuse with drugs, alcohol, and the rest of it. And the guy that's being interviewed with Kerry Cassidy made direct reference to that because he said he was clean and he went through the alcohol and the drugs. And his mind is now running a clear channel. So he woke up. He's out of the fog. So what he's realizing, and that is the implication of this, because Kerry Cassidy will mention white hats, U.S. military, global military, that are on the side of the light, or if you will, the one. The highest code of conduct is what love is, because it means you honor what love is, because love does no harm. Okay? The energy of the vibration is what love is. And you naturally, because you're in a state of eternal love, it starts with eternal love because that's what you experience. The experience is the teacher of the truth. The truth starts with love because that's what glows a flower. Peace is coupled to that because it means that if you don't want to do anybody any harm, you're not going to experience the harm that you do by disturbing your own peace, because your water worlds are already in balance because you're at zero. That's eternity. So it starts with eternity at 0 ohms. And if you want to maintain your 0 ohms, now we're into reaction states. And negative reaction states, turbulence is the water. So you want your water worlds to be in balance between hot and cold. Pressure washer, echo chamber, right? So you're balanced. Your energy is balanced which means your mind is balanced. So if you've joined forces between X and Y or male and female, the king and queen on the chessboard said, hey, instead of you and I being two separate game pieces on the game board, why don't we just become one? We're more powerful that way, you think? Wow. The seed is going to jump with the flower, jump in bed with the flower so that you and I are never separated. That's a lot of fire, ain't it? That's a bigger blast furnace, which is a faster drive. Because now your magnetic circuits are opening and closing at the highest rate of speed. You got a faster drive. You know what a drive motor is? A hard drive, right? It means you got a faster chip because your chip is mated. Right? So that means that you're the energy that protects the universe of all creation because it starts with eternal love. That's an infinite love vibration. That's the one. That's a monopole. Right? So these are not coincidences. Why all these events have been playing out for the last number of years. For me, it's like 2011, 2010, actually. And so you're measuring the changes that are occurring, okay, over a duration of time, if you will. Time dilation, right? So you keep experiencing more light because you're removing more goo codes, and you're experiencing more of the right codes because you're experiencing a lot more people that are waking up out of their spell, which means they're clearing away the cobwebs of what they were held captive to, like leashes, collars, and cages, right? So you know what it's like to be a free bird, right? How am I going to know who you are if I'm not allowing you to be free to be what you are? Because otherwise I don't know who you really are. Because now you're going to use your energy to protect yourself against something that's trying to hold you as an energy attachment, right? Or something that's held in memory, right? So the rate that you have a faster frame rate, which is known as an ISO shutter speed, which means the speed at which you're experiencing here you are is faster than an AI, which means you're not running a simulator. Okay? That's the real universe. The real universe is not a simulator. Okay? Binary chip cookies. So it's not a coincidence that now all of a sudden the United States Supreme Court, and notice what channels this information is showing up on. That people that have been plugging into the disclosure industry. Advertisers, informers, informating, tetrahedron. I got a tetrahedron for you. It's called a blast furnace. So this is beautiful to experience this, right? So you realize when they talk about a breach of security, you understand that Eden was invaded. The war in heaven. That's why these words are not coincidental. Breach of security. They breached out of underworld and invaded Eden. Okay. Reading between the lines, you got to decode the codes. Decoding the codes. This is good news. This is really good news. Because one of the things that this man talked about was he said the Supreme Court was protected. So you got to know this is off-planet stuff. Okay, off-world protection, intergalactic protection, universal protection, galactic protection, special forces, allied forces of mankind that are here. So they know. Oh boy, do they know. They knew it was over when the one and the allied forces showed up. All you got to do is look at how much energy that is to bring a bear on the subject matter. I did. I saw it. Go look at Planet Shields. The video Planet Shields by Yellow Rose for Texas. Holy Moses, that's a lot of energy, isn't it? Yeah. You can see what that'll do to a planet. Go look at the size of the space ark in Yellow Rose for Texas. One of the pics she put up on one of the cams, one of the space camps. Compare the size of that space ark, by the way, to the size of the sun. And then ask yourself, my God, how many suns can fit in that? Jesus, how much energy is that? A space ark? Go look at it. That's a lot of energy because you can see how much water is required. Okay? Have a good night. Love you all.